Throughout our nation's history, African American soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen have answered the call to service. They took the pledge to defend our freedom, and they have served our country with pride, valor, and integrity. In fact, African Americans have participated in every war fought by or within the United States, dating back to the American Revolution. So this Black History Month, we salute the Black servicemen and women of Hagerstown, from the Buffalo Soldiers to today's soldiers, and we thank them for their contributions to our country and our community. Our divided nation entered the Civil War barring Black soldiers from enlisting and taking up arms. But as the war progressed, the need for troops grew as the number of white volunteers declined. Upon the Emancipation Proclamation, the call for Black soldiers to enlist was made. The answer to that call was so great, the U.S. Colored Troops was formed. In addition to the dangers of war, Black soldiers faced racial prejudice and segregation, receiving unequal pay for their work and unequal protection as prisoners of war. In Hagerstown's Rose Hill Cemetery, there now stands a monument in honor of Lion Post Number 31, a group of African American veterans from the United States Colored Troops from Washington County. It was unveiled and dedicated in 2013, thanks to the support from community partners.
While we're here to remember all of our Civil War veterans, we are recognizing and honoring those participants, soldiers and civilians, who have been overlooked, as the mayor indicated earlier, in previous ceremonies and memorials.
Corporal William O. Wilson, a native Hagerstonian, enlisted in 1889 as a Buffalo soldier. He was awarded our nation's highest military recognition, the Medal of Honor. After Wilson's unit came under Indian attack, his captain wrote a message requesting help, but scouts refused to carry it. Wilson volunteered for the duty, overcame Indian pursuit, and successfully delivered the message. He returned to Hagerstown and raised 7 children with his wife. The Medal of Honor Triangle in the Jonathan Street neighborhood now stands as a tribute to Wilson's distinguished military service. Continued segregation didn't stop Black troops from serving our country during the First World War. While most African American units were delegated to support roles, there was stifled praise for the Black soldiers who fought on the front lines.
I cannot commend too highly the spirit shown among the colored combat troops, who exhibit fine capacity for quick training and eagerness for the most dangerous work. General John J. Pershing.
At a time when African Americans were still denied full citizenship, hundreds of thousands of Black men willingly defended their country. The military finally began training Black officers, but never put them in charge of white troops.
While the war lasts, we should forget our special grievances and close our ranks shoulder to shoulder with our white fellow citizens and allied nations that are fighting for democracy. W.E.B. Du Bois.
During World War II, over 2.5 million African Americans volunteered for the draft, and women volunteered for their country in large order. Still, adversity persisted. Black Americans were waging more than one war, battling the enemy overseas, and fighting to become regarded as more than second-class citizens in their own hometowns. Segregated units like the Tuskegee Airmen performed valiantly on the battlefront, and in 1948, President Harry Truman ordered desegregation among the U.S. Armed Forces. Though Truman's order ended segregation in the military by law, full desegregation took several years, and all Black units served the nation well into the Korean War. The last African American unit was disbanded in 1954. through Vietnam, Desert Storm, and Desert Shield into Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom, Black men and women are taking the pledge to serve their country. They are taking a stand against terror across the globe, serving as leaders, exploring new opportunities, all while maintaining honor, a devotion to their duty, and a respect for their fellow servicemen and women. Even as a child, Mark Mayo knew his calling.
We used to play cops and robbers, and of course, I didn't think that it was feasible that I was one of the robbers, and Mark, at that early age, was putting handcuffs on his mother. I said, no, let me be the sheriff and you be the deputy. So we had an agreement, and we said, okay, we will arrest the other siblings and the cousins and friends who dared to come into our home.
Mark's family moved from Washington, D.C. to Hagerstown, where he invested his time in positive and productive outlets.
He grew up in Nolan Village. Mark was trying to get his peers. Come on into the Boys and Girls Club, come on and be a Boy Scout. So he was a leader from early on.
After graduating from Williamsport High School, the county wrestling champ enlisted in the Navy, serving as a master-at-arms, a military police officer. He always looked out for others.
Mark was a giver. Of course, if he loved you unconditionally. Mark would never judge you. Mark wouldn't allow someone else to judge you. Mark would take up for you even when you really don't have the strength to take up for yourself.
After tours in Bahrain and Spain, he was promoted to the Chief of the Guard, providing security at the Norfolk Naval Station. On March 24, 2014, a civilian made his way aboard a destroyer on the base and disarmed a petty officer who was standing guard. When Mark saw what was happening, he rushed to jump in. He was fatally shot in the struggle. Mark gave his own life to save the lives of his fellow sailors. He was 24 years old.
When people ask me, how do you feel? I said, well, of course, you got the hurt and the missing and things like that, but Mark always sacrificed for his family, for the people that he cared about, for the people that he loved.
MA2, Mark Mayo, was buried with honors at Arlington National Cemetery. To our country and our community, he will always be remembered as a hero. Now, as his legacy, his mother wants others to learn from her son's example, not just from his sacrifice and death, but from the way he lived his life.
We gotta remember that we all have a calling. We are here for a reason. It is our responsibility to accept it, and remember Mark as being one who accepted his responsibility. Remember Mark as being one who has been responsible for making changes for the good. Be dedicated. By any means necessary and honorable, I want people to be dedicated. I would say Mark would want people to be dedicated. If you're gonna do it, dedicate yourself to it.
In 2009, Barack Obama was sworn in as our 44th president. As Commander-in-Chief, he is our nation's highest-ranking military official. He follows in the footsteps of Black men and women who have served with honor and made us proud. For our veterans, you have paid a debt we could never repay, but we will stand by you, support you, and honor your sacrifice. Thank you for your service.